Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin here on Sunday. Today, by the way, we have our member live stream at 5 p.m. UTC. If you're interested in checking it out, you can join the membership. You get access to the live streams with every membership level, but you won't be able to access Discord unless you're a silver or gold member. So that's 5 p.m. UTC today. We're going to talk about the difference between the logarithmic scale and the linear or arithmetic scale. The reason I mention it, I get very often the question why I use log scale, and this is a live stream dedicated to that. Of course, we're also taking a look at charts, chart requests. We do that every Sunday for members. So if you're interested, you can find the link in the description to the membership. Let's go Bitcoin. I only want to show you the short-term chart, but we take a look at some indicators as well. Want to take a look only at the short-term chart. Reason is, in my last video yesterday, I took a look at the daily chart, and I normally do that once a day. Yesterday, I actually did it twice a day. So let's take a look at the shorter time frame here, which is the 30-minute chart. We take a look at the movement from the 5th of July low, which has formed a 5-wave pattern to the upside. There are a couple of possible interpretations here. What is really important, and I think that's really the most important thing, is that we can now identify that 5-wave pattern to the upside that we've been watching for since the 5th of July as a first confirmation that we have a lasting low in place on the 5th of July, or since the 5th of July. While I've been tracking higher prices and support levels have held throughout, I could not confirm to you that a low is in place until the 5-wave move to the upside would unfold. Now, this comes with some comments, obviously. I mean, it's not a clear 5-wave move up yet. I'd like to see another push into the 68.5K, 69, ideally even 70K area. So a 5th wave, which might very well be unfolding already. It's a 5-wave move in a diagonal pattern. Should reach sort of an area like a little bit closer to 70K. So we haven't seen that yet. So it's still possible. There are a couple of other interpretations, alternatives. For example, that this is still a 4th wave that's unfolding. And then we get the last push a little later. Or if the next larger pullback occurs, it might already be the wave 2. Quick explanation. If we say this is a 5-wave pattern to the upside, maybe it's already finished. Again, ideally it should push a bit higher. That would be my preferred scenario. Pushing a little bit higher, either a little bit more directly or after another pullback. That would be ideal. But okay, if we break support levels and come down deeper, then I would give the bulls the benefit of the doubt, and I would already watch for a wave 2 correction, because the 5-wave move up would be called a wave 1, and the pullback would then be a wave 2 if the pullback is too deep to be still part of an unfolding 5th wave, or wave 4, which would lead to a wave 5 a little later. Yeah. So if we get it, basically in simple wording, if we get a deep pullback from here, I would first watch if it's a wave 2. And I would only do that because on the larger time frame here, zoomed out, we can already recognize 5 waves. But ideally, we push a little bit higher before we see that deep pullback, because the 5-wave move up that we've already seen, which is an Elliott Wave always a confirmation that the trend is up, that's not ideal yet. Okay, and I would like to see it reach at least the minimum targets for a 5th wave, and they start at $68,550. So what can we track here? So something is interesting. First of all, I think, so I mentioned to you already the wave count. Okay, 5 waves up. Quickly before we take a look at other indicators, the move up from the 18th of July low, so from the Thursday low, seems to be a 5-wave move. So we can call that wave A of 5 in one interpretation. We can watch for a B wave pullback in that wave 5. The support area hasn't changed since yesterday. So if we get a pullback, the first area of support, that's really only the first area of support, is between 64,180 and 65,929. But to get a pullback, we first need to see a break below the red line at 66,350. Without a break of 66,350, there is no sign that a pullback has started. So before we even entertain the idea of a pullback, we should see a break of that level. Then a pullback, then we can watch this support region, maybe one more extension higher. If we see this support area break, then we can think about a larger top being in place, okay? But let's take a look at some other indicators. First of all, I think we can add a trend line. I think we can. Let's just double check that. So this one is not so useful. I mean, it's two touch points. This here seems a bit more relevant. It has a few more touch points. We have 3 to 4 touch points down here, another one here. So that could act as additional support. And a break of the trend line could be a signal. That might be a signal that we have formed some kind of a top. As you can see, it's overlapping with that support zone. So we would have to see how it's just something to watch, because trend lines with many touch points can, when they break, they can be interesting signals. They're not so much related to Elliott Wave, but you might remember that setup I showed you here with the 3 to 4 touch points we had on this trend line, and it was a nice breakout signal. So I just want to show you that trend line. You know, some people try to trade or trade with trend lines. Just one thing to watch. Another thing is that as long as we stay below yesterday's high, which formed at 67,640, this here could be a head and shoulders pattern. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So again, does it make a difference if I call it if I call it head and shoulders, or if I just say the 66,350 level is key support? Because if we break below it, it likely means we test at least this support region. But pay attention to that. Could turn into a head and shoulders, which would be invalidated with a break above yesterday's high. And then, but we should go to the 1 hour chart. These indicators are a bit more reliable. Looking at that on the 1 hour, we have here a bearish divergence. That shouldn't be a surprise, given that we have 5 waves up, also from the Thursday low. After 5 waves up, we often see bearish divergences. So a third wave typically shows the highest reading on the RSI, and the 5th wave forms a lower high on the RSI. So it's just something to watch. 4 hour chart also shows bearish divergences. Okay, so that is now getting really interesting. We are still embedded in the bullish range though on the 4 hour. But you see that the MACD on the 4 hour has crossed bearish. So I think, you know, we are getting some additional signals that we could be close to tops, tops of sorts. I mean, just crossing bearish on the 4 hour, as you can see here, happened before on Wednesday. All it meant was a pullback. So that's just something that means be on high alert. We could get a pullback from this region. But again, it's only an indicator. The price needs to confirm that. How would the price confirm that? With a break below 66,350. Yeah, I think these are the key levels to watch for today. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.